Good morning. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming, and happy Thursday. I want to get started and get you out of here in time. I promised yesterday that this would not extend beyond an hour, but it's hard to believe this is the 6th time that I'll be presenting an update on our university to the faculty and staff. Time has flown, for me anyway, and certainly the progress that's been made over these years through the help of all of you and your hard work and commitment. It's great to be able to display that. I tell folks all the time that I feel so privileged to be able to talk about the accomplishments of so many people who work so hard on a daily basis, despite the challenges we faced. I want to thank Mayor Mayo is here this morning with us. He always supports us, and he's here for any event. We have several members of our foundation. Joy Jacobs is the chair of our foundation board. Ms. Cindy Rogers is a board member. Let's see if I'm missing anyone. And I saw Keith Brown, who's representing Congressman Abraham, is here. So thank them for joining us this morning. I'd like to begin, yes. Bear with me as we go through this. This is not a PowerPoint, it's called Prezi. So it's kind of a new presentation, at least for me. Many of you are probably familiar with it, but we'll give it a shot, and with any luck, I won't totally destroy all the work that Dr. Bryce Jones and Julia Letlow and Lisa Miller have created over the last week or so. So here we go, maybe longer. Our points of pride this year, I think, are very significant. Being elevated to a Carnegie Research Status institution for the first time in the history is really amazing. And when I look at those data that are compiled, there are 4,660 institutions in the United States. Of those, there are 335 research institutions, 109 are R3. And as you see by this map, there are 6 in Louisiana. There are 2 R1s, they're Tulane and LSU. That's the most significant research or highest activity. R2 is UNO and Lafayette, and R3 are up at the top of the state, which is ULM and Louisiana Tech. So congratulations, that's a very, very significant accomplishment this year. For the second year in a row, we've been named a Tier 1 by U.S. News and World Report. Now many, really don't put a lot of weight on something, this particular ranking or recognition, but as far as the PR value and the name recognition for our university, it's quite significant. So this is another point of pride for us that I ask that you share. We talk about passage rates on a licensure exam. I don't want us to take this for granted. Our health sciences particularly have year after year scored much higher than the national ranking, and in most cases 100%. Particularly this past fall, they were all at 100%. I think, yeah. Dr. Doty and Bales told me yesterday that this spring's nursing class was 97.3. Is that the exact number? 1 out of 43 students failed to pass the nursing licensure on the first time. So that continues to be good. But this year we add, in my opinion, to that group accounting. Dr. McCann and her faculty were the top school in Louisiana on the passage of the CPA exam the first time. Yeah. They were 26th in the country. So thank them for their hard work in getting that recognition. Along with that, I wanted to we'll be showing some videos, you know, this time.
Having a seizure, so I jumped into action just doing what I had learned in class. And I'd only been in nursing school for 2 semesters. When a physician finally came back about 15 minutes later, I was able to relay information to him that was really important. And he was just really amazed with ULM and just everything they were teaching us, because he was like, what kind of second semester nursing student knows how to do this? It was a really cool experience, and I know that that's going to translate into my missions and how I serve in other ways. I'm going to 11 countries for 11 months in August, and I'm going to impact the world with what ULM has taught me.
Mary Cox is one of our nursing students, and quite a credit to us. Senator Mike Walsworth has joined us. I want to recognize Senator Walsworth, who's also an alum, as is Mayor Mayo, and I see our president of Monroe Chambers here, Sue. Thank you, Sue Nicholson, for being here. The Doppler weather, this one is, you know, I guess a journey we've had. The first meeting I had upon, you know, assuming the responsibility dealt with the Doppler radar, and if that was in November. It was actually November 10th, 2010. And a gentleman came in and said, this thing is going to be amazing, it's going to be up, it's going to be running. Today is August 18th, I think. August 18th, and Dr. Panny tells me yesterday that he expects it to be turned on this week. So after a long journey, we anticipate the Doppler radar to go on. It has been quite a story, and for those of you who are interested, talk to Dr. Panny sometime, or Dr. Ann Case-Hanks, who's been kind of coordinating this. Of course, this will provide a great deal of coverage for Northeast and Central Louisiana as it relates to the weather gap we have. So hopefully to protect our folks a lot better than we've had in coverage before. Construction management, I point this out, it's 50 years. They celebrated their 50th anniversary this year of a program, and they were founded in '66, the first accredited program of its kind in the United States. And it is one of the highest privately funded programs on our campus. The alums of construction management give back every year. And you may have seen where they recently gave $262,000 to the program. So it is a program that can serve as a model for all of our programs to work with our alumni to help support it. In fact, we were able to facilitate legislation in 2015 which replicated a program that construction management had, which gave individuals in the field who pay their license every year the opportunity to add money to their license fee, which goes to the schools of construction, which are Louisiana Tech, LSU, and us. Pharmacy, the pharmacists passed a bill in 2015, and while we did get some money from that last year, the hopes of the amount of money that will be passed this year is very high. So we're real excited for more than one reason, but I want to congratulate the School of Construction Management. Rankings and recognitions, and again, these really point out the quality and the work of our faculty and staff. And these are the bragging points that as we go out, as you go out and speak with your neighbors and your friends and your legislators and your mayors, they need to know just how good ULM is. For the 6-year common theme I've had is we're the best kept secret. Apparently that secret is beginning to get out. And as you look at these, you know, the online RN to BSN ranked number 1, 18th ranked risk management and insurance, number 9 in construction concentration, 22 on the MS and counseling, and the list goes on. We picked those 4 out, but there are many more. Also, Drs. Brisky, Kadumi, and Joy have been awarded NIH grants totaling $1.2 million. We scored 100% on the GRAD Act, which was the last year. This year was the last year. We're recognized as a military and veteran-friendly campus, which is a significant recognition for us in this region where so many of our citizens serve this country. And the TRIO program was awarded a $1.1 million grant from the U.S. Department of Education. I think I read something, Dr. Estes in the room? Or Camille, did I read that it was renewed? Another 1.9 million, am I correct? Another 1.9 million into that program. Athletics, it's a lot of people say it's the front door, others describe it as other things, but on any given day. But I want to, go through some of these because, it's not just competition. The coaches and the ADs and the administration has worked very hard. Basketball had another great season, 20 wins, and finished second in the Sun Belt Conference, played in the Collegiate Insider postseason tournament, and continued to rank very high in their academic progress rate. Water skiing continues to do its thing. Give me a second. I want to get the correct pronunciation of this gentleman. Settlemeyer. Mr. Settlemeyer is won the 2015 Water Ski World Championship, and this continues to be a program that gets a lot of attention, although it's not an NCAA sport.
Monroe has produced so many world champions that's where most of the skiers want to come to ULM. I was fortunate enough to win 3 national titles, and Eleanor fortunate enough to win 4 out of 4. Yeah. ULM has just opened the doors for all of our opportunities. So being able to ski on the bayou every day has just been a dream. We're so fortunate.
Combining sport and ski, doing 2 things that you love, gives you the motivation to study, kind of fuels you to do well in both aspects.
Step out the boundaries, just do something you might be a bit scared to do, but just go ahead and do it because you'll have no regrets that way.
If you want to go home, just a plane ticket away, you can go home.
We found our little Warhawk family, our ski family, and absolutely love it here.
7 national championships between those sisters, the Benjamin sisters, and that video was on the university's Facebook, and overwhelmingly is the largest number of views and hits that this institution has had. Exclusive of the fish swimming over Warhawk Way. That was filmed and posted by one of our atmospheric science majors. Fishing again competed in a college national championship, and they actually placed in every regional tournament that year. Isaac Grider is a quiet young man. I think he served on student government and everything. Very engaging. But he won the heptathlon the 2nd year in a row. Isaac has graduated and gone on, but he served the university not only as a role model in his sport, but also as a student. We had several men's golf, women's cross country, and women's golf each posted perfect single-year APR scores. And several of our teams were nationally ranked as it related to their academic progress. The ULM athletic program also had the highest academic performance rate of any school in the Sun Belt Conference. And that includes, that includes a number of very large institutions like Georgia State, Texas State, Appalachian State, Georgia Southern. So they are doing a good job in the classroom and also on the field. New and future construction, the end zone facility, the field house, many of you came to that event last week when they opened it. It's beautiful. It adds a great deal of character to the Malone Stadium, and certainly our student athletes really love it. Sandal Hall is kind of like the radar tower. The only difference in Sandal Hall is when I was here as vice president in 2002, I put it on the state's capital outlay request. So it's been 14 years, but with any luck, we're hoping by October, Dr. Richter says Christmas. By October, we'll be able to occupy it. We had hoped to occupy this building in October of last year with the rains and other construction challenges, but it is just going to be, if you hadn't been around there, looked at the new bookstore, it is going to be a remarkable structure. It will be, no doubt, one of the most beautiful buildings in the state as far as on the college campus. You'll have a lot to be proud of there. The Barnes & Noble store is open. Again, they did a great job there. Starbucks was expanded, and I think it opened this week, Monday. A student event center, today is the bid opening. This is the old natatorium. Students, as you may know, assess themselves some fees to use for improvements across the campus. And they've committed $5 million, is that right? Is anybody? $5 million of those funds to renovate that facility, to be used as an event center. As I mentioned yesterday, earlier in my term, we were able to have faculty, staff together for lunch. This year and last year, we were unable to do that, which is a good thing. This facility, when completed, will host the cheer teams, spirit groups for practice, as well as it'll have the capability of 800 individuals seated, so we could host dinners and other social events there. So it's going to also be a gorgeous facility. The parking lots that's been being overlaid, again, those come from student parking fees, and that's been a progressive thing that we're resurfacing. The ones behind the construction building, the one across from Hemphill Hall, and the street that goes between the stadium and around to the Alumni Center, Activity Center, was done this summer. And the list will continue as we go into other breaks. Scott Plaza Fountain, for those of you who have been around for a long time, know that the fountain brings a great deal of attention to the campus, and it's a welcoming spot. However, it's not been very reliable. The construction design was such that anytime it rained, it would wash trash into the pumps, and it would be down for a period of time until it was repaired. The Scott Foundation donated $85,000 this year to rebuild that. And it is in construction now with a different design, and we're very hopeful by mid-September that will be complete. And one member of that board is here, Mr. Tom Nicholson, back there, so thank you, Tom, for your help. Let's see. We will have challenges. This is one of the, well, it is the best year since I've been here. I think we'll, with a little luck, 16, 17 could be our best year. And as an indication, would all of those who are new, faculty and staff, would you please stand up now and be recognized? Don't be shy, come on. And again, those of you who have been here know that there were years there weren't many who stood. So we're in the position so far that we're able to start replenishing those who have retired and left, and gradually, hopefully, we'll get back to that area where we feel comfortable and you're not asked to add more to your work. But these challenges exist. Fair Labor Standards Act, this is a new federal revision of this bill. And this bill deals with pay. And it talks about if a person is exempt or non-exempt. And that's technically, if you're exempt, you don't get overtime, no matter how many hours you work. If you're non-exempt, you will get overtime. There are criteria that develops who's exempt and who's non-exempt. One particular criteria is salary. That salary had been $20-something odd thousand. It was the minimum that a person had to make a year to be considered exempt. And of course, it's their work. Whatever the work is would also put you in that. As you know, a few years ago, we raised the starting pay for our unclassified people to $35,000, because that's about the average, the median income in this region, and we wanted to be at that. This law, which goes into effect in December, and Melissa Ducote and her staff will be visiting all the individuals who are supervisors of these employees who are being in question. But the law requires now that those exempt employees, the minimum pay will be $47,000. Now, as you might expect, it's going to create us some challenges, not just in the salary, but as it relates to comparative salaries for others in those areas. The impact we don't yet know financially. The impact is going to be between $200,000 and $2 million. That's how many employees may be impacted. So there may be the creation of a third category, which would be an unclassified, non-exempt, and we're just looking at all of those areas, so we're keeping in mind the fiscal issues as well as the issues of individuals who will be impacted both by the change in the salary and those who would not be. TOPS, this semester, and I have some information on TOPS just to give you an idea. As you know, last year, TOPS paid 100% of those tuition and fees. This fall, for example, our tuition in 15-16 was $3,829 in the fall. And then we had $2,742 was paid by TOPS, which left the student balance $1,087. This year, tuition is $4,105, and TOPS pays $26.93, which is 93% of what it paid last year, the $2,742. So the student balance is $1,412. In the spring, unless changes are made, funds are found, that number is to go somewhere into the 48% range. And this is new territory. We're traveling new ground here, because not since 1989 have students in Louisiana been faced with coming up with this type of differential in their tuition. So we don't really know if the gap, which could be as much as, well, right now, 26, it would be somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,200 that TOPS will pay, which will leave a gap somewhere in around $2,800, $2,900. So we don't know economically how that's going to impact our students in the spring and further if a solution isn't found. So I do know the legislators are very aware of it and concerned about it, and we'll just have to see what happens. But that could endanger our enrollment, not just here, but all higher ed institutions. And with us now 80% of our budget reliant upon tuition, that could be a significant blow if it does not go well. The Board of Regents funding formula was changed this year just when we got to the point that we felt comfortable that all of our marks, and we'll show them in a little bit, were starting to meet what they had expected of us. The changes came. And this formula has some positive points to it, but it also has some real threats. The major thing in this formula that is rewarded significantly is research. Research is funded on two occasions. One from the perspective of the category of the university. Now, we won't be in a research category for the Board of Regents because they go by the Southern Regional Education Board, not Carnegie. So we won't get that adjustment, which is pretty significant, but we never have, so that's not something that was taken away. But they'll also have monies for grants that were written and accepted. It's not what is performed in the research, it's how many grants and how many of those were awarded from NIH and the National Science Foundation. So it's honed in very tightly. And it is an area that we have, expressed our concern, as many of the universities in the state are concerned about. There are a number of programs. That the Board of Regents may not consider any funding toward. So those are things we're having to look at very closely. Dr. Richters and Dr. Panny have kept me posted on what are some of the issues, and we'll be responding to the UL system today or tomorrow on our concerns as it relates to this new formula. But what is it going to take? It's going to take us the ability to write those grants and be successful, and we will have to kick it up, or we will be left out of a pretty significant amount of money in that pool over at the Board of Regents. The endowed scholarships, professors and chairs, I put this as a challenge because there's been a lot of work done by the development staff and the board, foundation board, to build upon the endowed scholarships, professors and chairs. The biggest risk for us is the chairs. And while we have gotten commitments for more chairs, they have now become competitive. So that means that ULM will be competing heads up with LSU and Tulane. So the development of those chairs, in order to receive the state match of $400,000, will have to be done. And that's something we've never done before. In past professorships, chairs were funded as money were available on a first-come, first-served basis. In that case, you were rewarded for getting private funds. In these cases now, because return on investments of those funds are lower, they're basically saying we're going to put them in a competitive status. We had a chair last fall that was put forward. It was not successful. I've asked Dr. Panny to seek consultants to help with the writing of those chairs, because we have 3 now that are in the wings waiting to be funded. But again, when you compete against major institutions, it becomes a bigger challenge. But here's what happens. Again, under the old formula, graduation rates, retention rates, those were things, and the legislature has said that for almost a decade. You got to raise that. Well, how do you raise it? Well, you get better students, better prepared students. This number 80 may go up even more as some of our international students report. But this is a conservative, but it's more than tripled in the last 6 years. This is probably the statistic that all of you should be most proud, because everyone in this room has contributed to this. No matter what your work is, I won't say who that is, because this right here builds on everything. It builds on graduation rates. It builds on our revenue sources. By changing that almost over 9% has a positive impact on the university. And in turn, it works in all benefits, but technically retention rates with grad acts gone now, graduation rates are not included as part of the outcomes component of the formula, the new formula. They have completers in there, but it's not quite the same. So that one's a difficult thing, and we're expressing that concern because again, we started 8 years ago with this idea of we have to build graduation rates in Louisiana, we have to build retention rates, and ULM has met the challenge. This is another remarkable number. Regional universities in Louisiana have really not been real good as it relates to graduation rates. Part of it's because it was open admissions for so many years. But other than 1 year, if you look from 2009 to 2016, there has been continuous improvement in the graduation rate. And when you start to, it looks like, well, that's not a big number, but those percentages get into 4, 5, 6 students. So I would say that the contributions by being a friendly campus, being a faculty who care about their students, being a beautiful campus, I think that all of those make a difference, and the better prepared student. Okay. In 15-16, community and economic impacts, again, this university contributes $45 million a year in impact when you look at the clients and clinics and what our business school does, internships. Our internships, we have 34% more interns than any other school in the UL system. Now, how do I know that? We've had a recurring issue about, I think it came up in the School of Nursing, where they would do their clinicals and the hospital said, where's the insurance? Well, Office of Risk Management this year responded by insuring our interns, but in doing that, ULM's insurance bill was the highest in the system. And of course, that was one of those good things, because those numbers of interns are very significant, because that prepares our students also. When you look at 140,000 plus attendance at our athletic programs and 140,000 in our arts and culture programs, that's a pretty good balance, I would say. So, Mr. Mayor, we're bringing sales taxes into Monroe, okay? Oh, too much, back. Okay.
ULM helped me to discover that I had a passion for patient care. I had a passion for pharmacy. During pharmacy school, I was able to work with the American Pharmacists Association, our student chapter, which allowed me to go out in the community and provide screenings and work directly with patients. In a little over 2 months, I will be graduating from pharmacy school and my academic career will officially come to a close. I will be moving to Washington, D.C. to begin my residency in association management and leadership at the American Pharmacists Association. I encourage you to take advantage of these next 4 years, embrace new opportunities, embrace change. The 4 years that I spent completing my undergraduate coursework here at ULM and the 4 years that I spent completing my pharmacy curriculum were honestly some of the very best years of my entire life.
Budget update. As you can see, we're getting very close to where we were in 2010. Now, the 82 million, does this thing work? No. The 82 million currently is our official budget as per the amount we're allowed to spend by the state this year. We hope that that will change as revenues come in from tuition, depending upon the numbers, but that's about $0.8 below where we were in fiscal 2010. But we've made progress, thankfully, to our students who have paid the tuition increases and continue to come to our university. Let's all of us keep that at the forefront of our minds, that those students are paying 80 cents on every dollar of our salary. So it is important that we give them a quality education and we continue to be the courteous, humanistic university that we have the reputation for. Of course, faculty spotlights, we try to do this. Brooke Foy, Brooke has been in the paper more than me lately, and almost as many times as the mayor. But Brooke is making a difference out in the community. The 1 mile of love and the turtles in the Bayou Park and the medallion that she's putting in Antique Alley, and the restoration of the Coke murals across town. quite a contribution to the community. Dr. Liu is, involved in stem cell, breast cancer, collaboration with LSU Ag, and currently working on a patent over in pharmacy. Dr. Murphy, I really enjoy talking to Dr. Murphy. He's so excited about tornadoes. I get excited when I hear about a tornado and where I got to go, but he's studying those and, is really involved. Actually, he's forged a partnership with the University of Alabama, Birmingham, and they've actually been here in their truck, and everyone's waiting for the Doppler radar to get started because they'll be able to conduct their research much more thoroughly and, of course, provide a service to our area. And Dr. Finley, she continues to, work with freshmen. Her and Dr. Wiedemeyer really have built quite a reputation of taking students who aspire to be medical professionals, to go on to dentistry and the medical fields, and they continue to have a high number of our students that go on into medical schools. Two of the young ladies this year, one went to Baylor Medical School and the other Arkansas. So they're not just going in state, they're being accepted across the country into pretty significant and reputable programs. Dr. Barry's intern program, job placement in the insurance curriculum, and her connections with industry and support that she provides them brings a great deal of attention to the university.
And I sat down and he said, Lauren, you have something in you that we have never seen in another person from another university, which is why we're offering you a full-time job position as an associate producer once you graduate. And at that moment, I was starstruck. I could not speak. I knew all of my hard work, my accomplishments, my achievements were all thanks to ULM. And had I not made that decision to come to ULM 4 years ago and become a Warhawk, I wouldn't be standing here holding a full-time job position a year before I graduate. And if there's one thing I could tell freshmen, it's to step out of your comfort zone, reach for something that is so impossible and go get it, because these are the best years of your life. And yes, you will be uncomfortable, but that's okay because that's whenever the growth happens the most. And ULM can become your home just like it became mine.
SOAR is a campaign that we began several years ago to raise $54 million for this university for scholarships and faculty support. As of today, 54% of that goal has been met. That's pretty significant when people... Actually, the original goal was $20 million, somewhere in the $20 million. So we would have exceeded that original goal. But someone had the idea that we should really push ourselves. And as a result of that individual's thoughts, we haven't yet received that 54 million goal. But we're still working on it. And I tell that individual every morning when I shave that you would have had the opportunity to meet a goal if you hadn't gotten too aggressive. But I really believe, and I've always believed, that we've got to stretch. We've got to continue to stretch it. We've got to believe we can achieve things that we can. And I believe we can achieve that $54 million goal. And it comes in $50, $100, $500 at a time. This week alone, one of our alums, father, she visited ULM early in the year, her and her husband. They wanted to meet me. They were from West Carroll Parish, came in, said hello, we began to chat. This lady was a graduate of our accounting program. She went on to Austin and to the University of Texas Law School and graduated #1 in the class. She wanted to know about what was going on here, and I gladly told her. Tuesday night, we visited Delhi for an alumni function, and her father and mother were there. And he came up to me and said, I just want to let you know that my daughter was so excited about coming back that her and her husband are going to fund a chair at ULM. You know, those are the kind of stories that, you know, I didn't know this lady. I wasn't here when she was in school, but someone here made an impact on her. And of course, she went on to be successful. And for that, you know, she wants to give back. So we're not just dealing with today here at ULM, we're dealing into the future. Maybe one of those students that's been highlighted is going to be the student that comes back and does something impactful to the faculty, staff, or students of this university 20 years from now. So I think we also need to look forward in addition to looking at the present. Okay, these were the goals I had talked about last year. Innovation, you know, we continue to work towards that. This is an ongoing thing. This is a continuous effort. The Innovation Center, Dr. Panny proposed, opened this week, and I encouraged everyone to go by there and use it. To go there from various disciplines and build upon what we can do. And I'm confident that center, along with facilities that's going to be in Sandal, can help. Collaboration, we're seeing cross-collaboration among our colleges now. And I think that's important because we need to have the thought process of what can we do. When we talked about partnering pharmacy and LSU Ag a number of years ago, people shook their head. But now, the discussions and the research and the things that are coming from that are pretty significant. And we continue to collaborate with individuals such as the Ouachita Police Jury in securing the opportunity to continue research out at the Calhoun Station. And that's going to be multiple departments working out there to not only look at water resources, but also to help teachers in the area be better science teachers and understand the environment better. Again, our community partnerships continue with CenturyLink and Chase and St. Francis and Glenwood, the IBM now, the school systems. We continue to do those, and I encourage you to continue to look for opportunities where the university can impact it. STEM, the number of women, we have 2,200 women who are majoring in STEM degrees. This, to me, is our greatest opportunity. And we need more of these young women to get into those fields, particularly in computer information and chemistry, and which we're hoping to reestablish shortly as a degree. So this is an opportunity, particularly when we're looking at, we're approaching 80% women on this campus. So I think it's important for us to look at how we can encourage them. So the faculty who are in the STEM fields, please encourage those young women to look at that. 2020, we will be reconvening for the strategic plan. The strategic plan is completing its third year, and a report will be out shortly. It only has 1 year left in that original plan that we did several years ago. So there will be opportunities for everyone to provide feedback and input into this as we plan now to go through the year 2020. And where will we be and what will we look at? And the marketing strategy, Lisa Miller, who has done a great job in our enrollment services for many years, and I tell this story to alums, she would constantly come to me saying, you know, if we did this or we did that, from a marketing perspective, we can get broader recognition, we can do these. I've got all these ideas. So last year we talked about, okay, maybe it's time, after 14 years, it's time for you to step over and take on a new challenge. So she did that. She held both positions last year, but this year she's moved over as, quote, our Chief Communication Officer. And she's charged with how do we reach out? How do we go to areas? How do we get more press coverage in Shreveport, Alexandria, different parts of the state, because we're getting many more students from those regions. We're not just focused in Northeast Louisiana anymore. We had 55% of our freshman class in 2015 that came from outside of this 12-parish traditional recruiting area. So your classes are very diverse as it relates to geography, both in-state, out-of-state, and international. So this is you're some of the first. You know, there's a few people on campus that have seen this, but this will be the video that'll be shown when ULM athletics are on TV. And we were on TV quite a bit last year. Brian, do we know how many games this guy? Excuse me? Oh. Okay, this isn't the one that they're going to see. Okay. You got two. Okay. One of the challenges Lisa has is making sure I don't screw up the presentation. So let's look at this one because you haven't seen this either. That video was shown, that video was shown at Miss Louisiana, so it was shown across the state for a number of times during that particular event a couple months ago. Now, this is the one. Whoa! No. Okay, this is the one that'll be seen. I was asking Brian, do we know how many televised games we have yet? 10 times football on ESPN3, which is it. Okay. So this will, every year we're asked for a clip, and you may have seen them during football games where, you know, you have a break or a timeout and they'll run video on the institution. So this is the one that you'll see this year if you're watching the Warhawks on the court or in the field. Okay, so I want to thank the OPI folks who are up here, Surgeon and Julia and Lisa, and Dr. Jones is somewhere. Where is he? Wait, Sammy's over there, who's a videographer, so thank you all for your work. Okay, we're at the point of any questions. I'll try to answer if anyone has any that on the material that we covered or anything else that you might have on your mind this morning. No questions? This one? Okay. All right. All right, here we go. There it is. So, the idea is to have an upbeat theme, a theme of excitement as it relates to both academics and all of our extracurricular activities, and go from there. So, unless there are any questions, we'll move on because it's an important segment coming in is our Foundation Awards for Excellence. I want to invite Dr. Panny and Mr. Joe Jacobs up to make the presentations of those who have been nominated and selected by you. Oh, I wanted to make sure and tell you that you may see students running around doing this, which is the talons out signal. It's not that they're twice as mad at you as you thought. So when you see that, you know, give them a talons out back. It is catching on around campus. It's been the second or third year. Where's Seth Hall? I think he's the inventor. Seth was here a minute ago. But the freshmen go through this process during prep, and it's quite interesting to watch them engage each other. Okay, Dr. Pan.
Okay, thank you. So how do you feel about the university today? All right. I do too. I'm really excited about where we are and where we're headed. And a lot of that is due to your hard work. And we want to recognize you for that hard work and thank you for that. So I know you probably get tired of applauding, but how about giving yourselves a round of applause as well? And of course, we have a very driven leader. We have somebody who doesn't just talk the talk, he walks the walk. He's out there hustling and working and just keeps an amazing schedule. I think I see that schedule pretty fairly accurately. I think it's nowhere near what Linda sees, but this guy is just works amazingly hard for the university, and I'd like to thank him for his work as well and for his leadership. Do I get my raise? Each year, the ULM Foundation provides funding to recognize several outstanding people in the university in a variety of different categories. The foundation exists to support the institution, and they've done a remarkable job, as you see reflected in the SOAR campaign. They're out there working to get the dollars in areas that are important to the university. That's why you see chairs, endowed professorships, scholarships for students. Those are areas that the leadership here has identified as being important, and the foundation has accepted that challenge and is out there doing a good job to help us accomplish those goals that we set. So I'm not quite sure exactly how the ceremony. Joey, do you want to say anything right now? I'd like to introduce Mr. Joey Jacobs, who is the president of the ULM Foundation Board of Trustees.
It's an honor to be here, and when Dr. Bruno said that they doubled he doubled what all the consultants said was possible for this institution, I was the person that he called first and said, by the way, we have a new number for you. And I do think about him every morning when I shave and the new number that he gave us. I think we are a $62 million foundation at present. And the staff and you have been, and Dr. Bruno and the ULM community has been incredibly successful and supportive and creative and worked very hard to bring us to this $62 million point. All of these dollars that flow from this $62 million go to you and go to the students here to support you. This year we will fund approximately $1 million to students at this university as a part of our goals of assisting and attracting and retaining students and outstanding students, and approximately $1 million will go to faculty and staff, and our goal to assist the university in attracting and retaining high-quality faculty through your salary enhancements and through these chairs and through these professorships. I would like to challenge you to help us identify opportunities in the business communities, in the ULM community, which is worldwide. Help us identify these opportunities and go forth and visit with, partner with, whatever's necessary. We are headed to a $100 million foundation in the next 5 years. At that point, we should be able to fund faculty at an annual rate of approximately $2 million a year and fund students at an annual rate of $2 million a year. So one personal note as far as Dr. Bruno struck as far as faculty who care. The faculty here helped my stepdaughter while she fought breast cancer to graduate with her doctorate degree. And I think that's reflective of all you that are out there, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
And of course, the work done by the employees of the ULM Foundation is awfully important because they're the ones going out there and recruiting those donors to give to the university. So I'd like to recognize Susan Chappell. Susan is Executive Director of the ULM Foundation. If she and all of her staff would stand for a brief minute, we'd like to thank them for their work as well. Ann Lockhart and Amanda Jett, if you don't know them. Okay, so we're finally to the point where we're going to recognize the faculty and staff with the ULM Foundation Awards for Excellence. I'm going to start with the one that I believe that is not here today because his son is having surgery. The ULM Award for Excellence in Teaching was awarded last week to Tom Denarden. Tom is an instructor, yeah. Tom is an instructor in the College of Business and Social Sciences and came to the university through the annual, Ron, I lost the wording for it. The annual event that the college hosts where they bring alumni in and students and have them talk about, pardon me? It's a symposium, yeah, the business symposium. Difficult word. Through the annual symposium, he came here and spoke and was so impressed with the institution and with our students, and he caught the bug for teaching. And so he left his own business. He sold his business and came here to teach and has been a remarkable teacher in the classroom since then. He's away right now, but we want to recognize Tom for his outstanding contributions to teaching our students to their education, and thank him for the work that he's provided and the gifts he's brought to the institution. So thank you, Tom Denarden. The excellence, the ULM Foundation Award for Excellence in Creative and Artistic Activity is provided this year in the humanities. In the humanities, creative and artistic people are seen as the foundation of their field. The winner of this award is one of those people, someone who takes their abilities to create a better community for their peers, their students, and the university. This person has served our university for 19 years as a leader in communications. She is sought after as a teacher of public relations, journalism, and visual arts who has received many recognitions for her creative work. Her work is also carries a great level of passion that she passes on to her students in class. Her colleagues say, without a doubt, she always has the best interests of the students in her heart. One of her students says, studying under such a powerful visual communicator has hugely contributed to my accomplishments today. Her work within the community has also been touted. She created an interactive photo installation called Waterline, which came as her contribution to the political will and to rebuild and restore New Orleans and her people after Hurricane Katrina. Her dedication to the humanities, writing, photography, and the art of teaching are what make her one of the university's most respected employees. So let's give a round of applause to the winner for the Foundation Award for Excellence in Creative and Artistic Activity, our Professor of Communication, Dr. Betty Kaufman. Our Foundation Award for Excellence in Research goes to someone who spent his career looking for solutions to some of the world's most complicated medical issues. His research has earned him numerous accolades, including grants, and most notably a professional patent. One of his colleagues says, he is a hardworking, highly motivated, organized, and conscientious scientist whose work is well known both nationally and internationally. He takes great pride in mentoring his students, ensuring that they become highly productive and independent research scientists. The quality of his research and the depth of his commitment to it are demonstrated by nearly 80 publications, many of which are in prestigious peer-reviewed journals such as the Journal of Medical Chemistry. Many of his peers commend his ability to establish connections and collaborations with scientists across the nation and around the world. His total funding tops $1.5 million, and he obtained funding from the Board of Regents to establish a protein and peptide analysis facility at the University of Louisiana, Monroe. Please welcome our Foundation Award for Excellence in Research winner, Associate Professor of Medicinal Chemistry, Dr. Sitharama Joyce. Our winner for excellence in service by faculty has been at ULM for only 3 years, but he's worked tirelessly ever since he established strong academic and international programs at ULM and its surrounding community. His efforts to bring quality and stability ultimately restored confidence in our Doctorate of Education program that under his leadership continued to grow and become more efficient in all aspects of its operation. His work with creating collaborative relationships between international universities and ULM has been outstanding as he managed to attract multiple international students to our university for short and long-term visits. Thanks to him, ULM signed academic agreements with 1 university in Japan, 9 universities in Korea, 1 university in China, and 1 university in Taiwan. His colleagues say he exemplifies the kind of tireless dedication that makes our university strong in the face of adversity. School administrators still admire his contribution to the education community when he brought Dr. Wong of California and his wife to Monroe to host a day-long professional development opportunity for regional teachers. Please help me to welcome the winner of the Foundation Award for Excellence in Service by Faculty, Associate Professor of Education, Dr. Kyo Kim. The winner of our Service Award for Unclassified Staff has been with us for almost 12 years now. She is the gateway person of an office working to solve problems for students, staff, and faculty alike. She's friendly, respectful, courteous to everyone, and her professionalism and warmth are apparent to anyone who calls or visits the office. She's very organized, efficient, and meticulous, always checking and double-checking her work to make sure mistakes are caught before they become a problem. Her dean deeply praises her business and data management skills, saying the work that she undertakes is of high quality. Her colleagues say she cares deeply about the students and goes beyond in order to help them solve the problems. She's active both on and off campus. She's a faithful member of St. Luke Baptist Church, where she serves as the church's secretary. She's also a member of the Order of the Eastern Star Organization of Louisiana, where she holds several positions, and I believe she's twice an alumna of this institution. Please help me congratulate the winner of the Foundation Award for Excellence in Service for Unclassified Staff, the Assistant to the Associate Dean of the College of Arts, Education, and Sciences, Ms. Sabrina McLean. Okay. She corrected me. She graduated here one time with her MBA. And our next winner has served this institution for more than 36 years. She's led the department by assisting and facilitating daily operations. Her dedication to helping the students, staff, and faculty has been an immeasurable benefit to our institution. She's been instrumental in establishing and maintaining a service-oriented dean's office that welcomes all who enter. She's the go-to person for professors when they need help, advice, or just a smile. Her dean describes her as a person of high integrity, tireless energy, and willingness to do what it takes to get the job done. Her outstanding service extends beyond the university and into the Monroe community as she actively participates in fundraising for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital in association with St. Joe Baptist Church. She also works with the Church Mission Board to provide services to nursing home residents. She's a role model for how all of us should find a way to contribute in a greater way to our university and our community. I'm proud to present the Foundation Award for Excellence in Service for Classified Staff to Administrative Assistant 4, Ms. Sue Oliver.
Well, it's 9:09. Dr. Panny ran us over. But again, I want to thank you all for your contributions, today, yesterday, and most importantly, tomorrow. We have a good thing going here. I think those data that we showed this morning are evidence of the work that you are doing is paying off. So this is the time for us to kind of keep the pedal down, keep it going, and before you know it, we'll be looking back at all of those who thought they were our competitors. So I wish you a great semester. I wish you a great weekend coming up. Stay dry, and thank you again for all you do. Talons out.
All right, we actually have a guest speaker who will be with us very shortly. Dr. Sandra McGuire is going to give our keynote speech for University Week this week. There's coffee and water down the hallway there. I encourage you to go and get some, relax for a little.